The Book of Recollections, Episode 30, The Inevitable Change, by Dicesylvania. I must say, I'm quite impressed with your perseverance, dear audience. It's not quite an easy feat to go through so many chapters. And alas, we've reached the beautiful number of 30. And let me tell you a secret. Psst, come a bit closer. You are definitely not prepared for what's coming next. Back in secluded, snowy Winterheim, home to the Silver Elves, the village was nothing short of a winter wonderland, with snow covering the small but quaint houses and the towering pine trees, stone chimneys bustling and working overtime to keep everyone warm, the people still keeping the cheer alive, even if it was past the Yule festivities. Inside the worthy cabin, a rather relaxed atmosphere had set. Leo was quietly reading a book snuggled in the cozy armchair. Jen was showing off her cooking skills in the kitchen. Adam was contemplating while gazing out the window. And Kate was sharpening her daggers, that, at least to her mind, were not as dull as the overall mood. Adam turned to them with a determined wish to discover more about the Book of VIM and the World Archive, the largest hub of knowledge in Winterheim, where only those deemed worthy were permitted to enter. Driven by curiosity, or sheer boredom in Kate's case at least, the group ventured into town straight to the archives. There, right outside the doors, was an old man waiting to be granted access inside. When the group approached, the old man had finally lost his patience and decided to make way for the newcomers to attempt to enter. He left, but not before leaving them with a warning. Knowledge always comes at a cost, and the archive will take its toll. As ominous as the man's words sounded, the group decided to stand in front of the archive together. The doors creaked open, so our adventurers quickly stepped in, only to have their only way out shut behind them. The room was small and circular, dimly lit, but almost impossibly vast, filled with thousands of tomes neatly stacked on the wooden shelves. In the center of the chamber was a single black desk with a chair behind it and the quill sitting on top, and, on the side, there was a beautifully decorated mirror. While the group was thinking out loud, planning on their next move, a tome was extracted from one of the shelves and gently flew towards the table, landing on top of it and opening to a blank page. Words started appearing out of thin air, making mention of the ending of the Fifth Age and how the Sixth Age would begin with none other than the people standing inside that very room. It was the Age of Change. Intrigued about the mysteries that the room had to offer, the group started asking random questions, hoping to find the key to navigate through its vastness. Leo attempted to sit on the chair, but immediately felt a force opposing him and pushing him aside. Jen picked up the quill and tried to write something on the desk, but, similar to the chair, it fought back. Meanwhile, the book on the table simply closed and returned to its shelf, but not before Jen caught a glimpse at the author, the twin archivists. Leo suspected there might be another presence in the room, and his suspicions were confirmed when Kate took a look in the mirror and caught a glimpse of what seemed to be a pair of deep hazel eyes and a bushy beard. Leo joined her, and, only while glancing in the mirror, the entity started to take shape of a man. He tried pleading with the entity, asking it to offer its assistance so they could be the change they were required to be. There was no sound, but the man moved closer to Jen and nodded in approval towards Leo. While Adam was performing a ritual to try to discover the nature of the books inside, he felt drawn to one of the lower shelves, with an electrical buzz coursing through him while he picked up the book that would contain the story of VIM and the birth of the two gods, Obscuro and Lumino, but also how the astrals were created, how Lumino ignited 6 stars of pure spirit, and how Obscuro sculpted the moon. It was the first age, known as the Age of Making. Jen, concerned with how to solve the mystery of her grandmother's heart, was directed towards the book about the Second Age, or the Age of Destruction. It talked about Lazarus, a vampire king so keen on achieving immortality that he sold his soul to Obscuro in exchange for a heart so powerful it would grant him an undying life. but no gift was without a cost, Lazarus being doomed to feed on the essence of lesser beings to quench his undying thirst, a thirst that would soon control his every move. Keith, trying to piece the puzzle together, wanted to make sense of what period they were in over 400 years ago, before they were plucked out of their timeline. The book about the Fourth Age, or the Age of Survival, was brought forth, depicting the utter contempt of Obscuro and Lumino towards humankind, trying to erase it completely after pouring themselves into a creation that was once thought unique and balanced, but brought the two forces only disappointment. But Adam wanted to learn more about the origins and purpose of VIM, so he was handed the prophecy of the Fifth Age, which mentioned none other than the original members of the now remaining party. Referred to as the Fated Ones, the story told how Hebdom, Genevieve, Lucius, Gregory, Shaklashak, Keith, and Yarek ventured into the Tomb of Time and released the Astrals by unbinding the Book of VIM and unleashing magic and death upon the realm. But the World Archive had already started to take its toll. While Kate was desperately trying to search for answers about her past, the surge going through the books was far too powerful to withstand, making her collapse after touching the book. Jen tried to grab them both, but she was also in a weakened state, so she soon followed Keith into unconsciousness, but not before discovering how Yarek betrayed and killed his friends to get the blessing of Hugin and Munin, desperate to extend his life only to see his best friend again, for whom he had always held a secret, unshared love. With the help of Leo, the girls regained consciousness, utterly refusing to touch another tome. The group then decided to leave the obscure chamber of knowledge, stepping outside only to be welcomed by a group of curious people with ardent questions about their experience. Already spent, the group decided it was best to head on home to recover their strength. During the evening, after a brief and well-earned rest, the party ventured back into town, where all sorts of games were being played, so they joyfully chimed in. Keith, on the other hand, had a heartfelt and eye-opening discussion with the Night Watcher, who confirmed her suspicions that Inge might be related to her. According to Klaus, the half-elf bore the resemblance of Agra, sister of Reikia, who was Inge's mother, and Lagertha, Klaus's wife. Agra went on to travel the world but never returned. However, the only way they could know for sure if her and Inge were indeed related was to get the help of Asli, the Faith Caller, who was the only one who could perform the ritual. Adam got once again pulled up into the sky to find a now ascended Telephthos, but the bittersweet moment would be put to a halt when he had only a warning prepared for him. Grinspring was in grave danger, and so was Winterheim. They do say, with knowledge comes great power. What do we think? Are they prepared for what's to follow? Too bad we're stepping away from the frozen realms toward a warmer environment. You remember Castiel, right? I have a feeling he has something definitely intriguing in store for us. With Castiel's ritual complete, in front of him stood this ominous-looking creature made of pure ether, with its face obscured by a plague-like mask, with long, draping dark red robes. Confused by its whereabouts, the creature broke open the wall of the chamber, escaping into the world. Castiel sprung on its tail, not knowing what havoc it would wreak upon the world, but his creation seemed to be drawn straight to the Sabbath River. With a few failed spells upon it, Castiel decided to term himself invisible while continuing to keep his creation under observation, ready to intervene when necessary. The creature broke the branch of a tree and created itself a staff, then proceeded to walk towards the Sabbath water, drawing the attention of 3 nearby people, a Sabbath priest, a barge woman, and a strange creature with a black plague mask and a top hat. As the 3 were approaching, Castiel used his familiar to create a diversion while trying to get past them undetected, but the doctor was already suspicious. He then attempted to interact with the creature, asking it to join them, believing he was also a plague doctor. The creature then extended its arm, trying to grasp the doctor with the tendrils that swirled out of its cloak. The doctor immediately escaped and ordered the others to retaliate and capture it. Feeling protective of his creation, Castiel summoned a pool of Sabbath water and engulfed the 3 attackers, who instantly perished at the touch of it. The creature was also caught in the crossfires, having its hand damaged in combat. Castiel conversed with his creation, trying to convince him to join him home and allow him to teach it more about the world of which he might only have glimpses and memories from its former recipients that helped create him. The creature eventually gave in and agreed to follow Castiel. Out of nowhere, a smiling, energetic blob appears, zooming straight for the creature. It was Shifty, which was very quickly accepted by Castiel's creation as part of it. However, while getting acquainted with the wobbly bundle of joy, a moose appears out of the ravine, violently snapping its bones while turning itself inside out to reveal only bloody viscera and twisted veins and guts. With a shocking bloodlust, it instantly lunged towards the 2. I did not know what to expect, but it most certainly was not that. Let's just hope the 2 of them don't go vamoose. Until next time, dearies. This was the recap for episode 30 of VIM, as told by the Book of Recollections. I was Ruxandra Vorotneac, your VIM recap narrator. If you'd like to join us as VIM, the Tale of Immortality premieres, tune in on Sunday at 5 p.m. UTC on youtube.com/@Dicesylvania. New recaps drop every Friday evening. And remember, every subscribe keeps the magic alive. Thanks for sticking with us. Good day, good night, and don't let the vampires bite.